This 2015 video is being uploaded for reference for current dives. Of note is the wood structure on the deck forward of the boiler has now fallen.
Located in the heart of northeast Michigan is Presqu'Île, a quiet little village on the shores of Lake Huron between Alpena and Rogers City. Presqu'Île has been a crossroads of Great Lakes maritime traffic for well over 100 years. As such, there are two lighthouses near Presqu'Île, the new lighthouse built in 1870 and Old Presqu'Île Light built in 1840. The Old Presqu'Île Lighthouse is one of the oldest surviving lighthouses on the Great Lakes. The stone tower measures 30 feet tall and 18 feet in diameter. Visitors can climb the stone steps for a panoramic view of the Lake Huron shoreline and Presqu'Île Harbor. The waters off Presqu'Île have been a busy shipping lane for decades and are home to a number of incredible shipwrecks. That, coupled with the usually excellent visibility, makes Presqu'Île a must-dive for any avid wreck diver. For this expedition, we chartered with Greg Such of Shipwreck Adventures. We met early each morning to prepare equipment, launch the boat, and begin our day's adventure. For the sake of convenience, we brought most of the breathing gas we'd need with us. That's no small feat, considering each diver needs 4 sets of doubles and about half a dozen deco bottles. The hassle paid off though, since we didn't have to mix gas every day after diving. After loading the boat, we were out of the harbor, passing Old Presqu'Île Light on our way to some of the best wreck diving Lake Huron has to offer. The Florida is a 270-foot-long steamer. She was built in 1889 at the Union Dry Dock in Buffalo, New York. She was still fairly young when she collided with the George Robey on May 21, 1897. The Robey hit the Florida in a dense fog, striking her on her starboard side, opening a large hole. Reports of the time say the Florida went down in only 12 minutes. Miraculously, there was no loss of life as the crew of the Florida abandoned ship and were picked up by the Robey. We can see she is sitting upright and is incredibly intact. Remember, she's been underwater for over 110 years, and she's made of wood, not steel. The cold, fresh water of the Great Lakes has preserved her well. The Florida's most notable artifact is here on the bow. The forward capstan cover is still in place, with the engraving still legible. You can easily read SS Florida, 1889, R. Mills and Company. We swim aft towards the open cargo holds. The forward mast is toppled and lays on the deck, reaching almost all the way to the stern. One of the joys of diving this wreck is exploring the cargo holds. The Florida was a package carrier, not a bulk carrier. That is to say, she didn't carry cargo like grain or coal, She carried boxes, crates, and barrels of goods, all of which is still there. Think of the Florida as a giant, floating UPS truck. Dropping into the hold, we can see a hand truck, some pots and pans, and other loose goods. There are barrels, their wooden staves coming apart at the seams. As we make our way aft through the hold, there's another stack of blue enamel pots on top of a crate. And don't forget to look up once in a while. There are barrels floating up against the ceiling. Crossing to the port side, we find more crates of cargo. Then we ascend up through the hatch and we're back on deck. Continuing our swim to the back of the ship, we follow the fallen masts. The crow's nests are still pretty much intact near the top of the masts. Most of the superstructure was destroyed during the sinking, but there are still two cabins towards the stern that are more or less intact. The first is a wooden structure with only two walls holding it up. The second is the much more intact steel boiler house. We'll inspect these a little closer later on. Continuing aft, the deck abruptly ends just after the boiler room, as if somebody cut the ship with a knife. The destruction at the stern is not all a bad thing, though. It allows us easy access to the engine. No penetration required to get into this engine room. Other artifacts are visible in the wreckage, like the aft capstan. One of the ship's bells is also in the wreckage. Turning around and heading back towards the bow, we get a view of the ship in cross-section. Back on deck, we head back towards the bow, taking a minute to peek into the boiler room. Continuing forward, we come to the wooden cabin just in front of the boiler room. The missing walls make for easy access, and we can see some collapsed shelves and various cans and boxes on the deck. The cabin may have been storage for ship stores. Someone has pulled a lantern out of the rubble and put it out on the deck for all to see. We drop back down into the hold and keep moving forward. This is an open loading door. The other buddy team is following our progress from up on deck. We pass by what appears to be a pile of coal. We're approaching the area of the collision on the starboard side. The hole made by the Roby is huge. A diver can easily swim through it. It's no wonder the Florida sank in only 12 minutes. Outside the wreck, we head towards the bow along the starboard side. The Florida is really one big ship. Swimming next to her, she seems to go on forever. After diving lots of schooners that are only about 130 feet long, the Florida is really a change of pace. The visibility is just amazing as we are amidships and can see divers all the way at the bow and on the ascent line. Back at the bow, we have to stop at the capstan for one more look. This is truly a unique and exciting artifact to find still in place. As they say, there's no such thing as a free lunch. The price of diving deep wrecks is a series of decompression stops on the way up. We won't make you watch the whole 50-minute ascent. And just like that, through the magic of editing, we're back to the boat. Diving is fun, gravity, not so much. The Florida is just one of the many amazing wrecks in the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. The area off Presqu'Île has the highest concentration of intact shipwrecks than anywhere else we have been in the Great Lakes. The Florida is a bit unusual in that she's a steamer. Most of the wrecks around Presqu'Île are wooden schooners. The Spangler, Defiance, Audubon, and of course the Cornelia Windiate are still beautifully preserved wooden schooners. If you're a Great Lakes wreck diver, these wrecks should be at the top of your bucket list.